This last year, I realized that I'm really just one conversation away from a breakthrough in almost any scenario. Now, I've read a lot of books, I've had a lot of advice given to me, and asked a lot of questions over my years. But what's interesting is that we can read something and it just doesn't click. It doesn't absorb whatever. We can't implement it into our lives. And then later on down the road, for some reason, the same concepts end up making sense. I've been told, and I've heard this many times, that, we don't know what we don't know. But at the same time, we've heard things before and somehow don't manage to implement them until we hear them a certain way, perhaps even from a certain person. And so I've really been thinking about this concept of the fact that we are one conversation away from a breakthrough, because really, in a lot of situations, when you're thinking about how to deal with something or how to build something or how to fix something, maybe you have a problem that you need to solve, we really just are one conversation away from a breakthrough. And that conversation does, though, have to be with the right person. So, what I'm trying to encourage myself to do is have more conversations around topics that are challenging to me and make me think, areas that I want to grow as well. Sometimes that means just reading different books, because that is kind of a conversation. You're reading a book on a topic, and sometimes an author putting it in a different way will unlock that information in a way that a previous author couldn't do for you. Sometimes it's listening to a podcast, maybe it's a conversational podcast, maybe it's a YouTube video like this, or just sitting down with an old friend or somebody that you respect and having a conversation about a topic that normally you wouldn't have a conversation about. And maybe that will lead to some sort of breakthrough. I think these days it's too easy to go to social media and see the feed of all of the things and hear these little short tidbits of information that people throw out there that really just seems like they're just throwing it out there. There's not any real breakthrough or anything. It's just, here's my opinion, and it's a short jab. I think conversations allow us to have a little bit more of what we used to have, which is the ability to go deeper on a topic as the conversation progresses. Instead of reading micro posts and little tidbits of information that starts and ends really quickly, conversations allow us to see where things go and things unfold along the way. And so for me, in this year, I'm definitely leaning into conversations, listening to more content, taking part in more opportunities for collaboration, and really just seeing the different ways that I can grow, because a conversation can change a lot. And these days, we have a lot less conversations that really mean things, and we spend more time on social media looking at these micro posts that are not conversations. They are statements, and a lot of time they're blanket statements, and sometimes they bounce off of us, or perhaps they make us feel a certain way. It's not a conversation starter. We see that, we feel whatever we feel, and then we move on. And even if it was the right piece of information that was shared, sometimes the way that it's written, or the timing that we saw it, or the fact that we couldn't engage with that with feeling and with our own expression, it's hard to have a breakthrough in those situations. I don't think I've really ever read a tweet that has changed anything in my life. I've read some great quotes. I've read some neat statements that I thought, wow, that's really smart or wise, but I don't think any of them have changed my life the way that conversations have. So I encourage you this year to get out and have more conversations. If you have a problem or have a situation, find somebody who has more knowledge than you in that area and have a conversation with them and see where things go. There have been times that I've had conversations with people who know more about a specific subject than I do, but the fact that the conversation is dynamic and I'm asking questions from my perspective has even unlocked different ways of thinking for that other person that allows them to go deeper into the subject or topic that they know a lot about. And that conversation became much more fruitful because of the back and forth engagement. Like I said, go out, get some conversations under your belt before we get too far into this year, and share with me something that was a breakthrough recently for you down in the comment section below.